Are you drowning in to-do lists, listening to podcasts and webinars and expert advice, struggling to figure out what actually matters for your studio and what's just noise? Feeling overwhelmed even though you're working nonstop? You are not alone. This is life coaching for dance studio owners, and let's cut through the chaos and focus on what really moves the needle so you can lead with clarity, peace, and purpose. So, today I wanted to talk about information overload. That's where a lot of us are, and this is probably what's happening to you right now. And when I talk about information overload, I'm saying you're receiving data from all different sources, and it's impacting you in your life. You're receiving visual data, you're receiving audio data, you're just constantly getting information, whether it's business information, parenting information, how to be fit and healthy, weight loss, all the things. And then you add to that things about the economy, finance, banking, mortgages. It's just so much information. And how do you wade through all of the things that are out there? You see, what happens when we get in a place of information overload, we just can't even think straight to get to the next step. What is the next right step for where you're at? If you're trying to plan next year's registration and pricing, schedule, and faculty, and at the same time wrapping up competitions, planning for nationals, all kinds of performances and recitals and parades. This is where it takes a toll on you. Because in addition to those things, you are a human. You have your own needs, you have your own family. And it's so important that we take a step back and realize these times when we are completely overwhelmed with information. This is more than just turning off notifications. While doing that is strongly recommended because you need some peace and quiet so you can think straight. I think it's important to note those times when we're getting these thoughts in our head. And oftentimes we escape or buffer by doing something like watching TV, scrolling on TikTok, looking at funny reels, talking about what's happening with this person over there, or we get into the gossip and all of that. It's because our brain just needs a way to not focus on all that's actually happening because it's just too much. And we quite literally need to triage all this information. So, I'm going to share with you three things that kind of go hand in hand with this. And I hope that this will help you sort through all the information out there. First of all, too much advice isn't the answer, it's the problem. If you're constantly consuming tips and trends and templates, but everything feels urgent, nothing's actually getting done. Focusing is what you're going to need, not just more information. I was talking to a studio owner recently, and this is not uncommon. And maybe this is you, right? You're planning something, maybe it's your year end show, and you're like, oh, I could use this software, I could use this ticketing company. I could use all these different things that would make my show better. I could sell flowers and bunnies and bears and candy grams. And you get into this cycle of hearing new ideas from other studios, which are all valid. But if all it's doing is piling up in your head and you haven't decided to do anything, then you've probably wasted a good 2 or 3 weeks of inaction. And so I want to just remind you that sometimes you just have to turn off the funnel of all the noise. I mean, that's happened for me recently. I was enjoying this one podcast and I liked it, and then I realized, okay, they were releasing episodes multiple times a week. So I was catching each episode. And then they had like a coaching and a webinar and all these extra things. And I was getting into it. And I realized I'm not even doing the things that I want to do. And for me, the last straw with this particular podcast I was listening to was just honestly, they gave a guilt trip. They gave a guilt trip and said, like, this is doing this particular thing, taking this step in your business is the right thing to do. Um, and that it was basically obedient to do so. And said, this is what God would want you to do. And I said, wait a second. Where are we when we hear on a podcast that someone's telling you what's being obedient to God? What is this? I couldn't even imagine where they were going down this rabbit hole. But right there, I had to pull the plug. You see, I had gotten into this habit of listening and enjoying the podcast again and again and again. And I even told other people about it. And with that information coming in, it could have easily slipped. And I might have maybe made a decision for lack of, judgment. Or maybe I was just overwhelmed with information that I could have just followed right along to what they were suggesting. And so, first of all, when I say too much advice isn't the answer, it's the problem. It's that sometimes too much information, like for me, this podcast that I was listening to, too much information could actually be the problem. I unsubscribed, I deleted all the saved episodes from my phone, and I unsubscribed from the email list too. And don't you know, so much has changed for me in terms of how I look at things and find information. I don't miss it. And there might be something like that for you where you quite literally need to surgically remove it. You might need to unsubscribe from all the things from a particular source because that is what's causing you some sort of pain or anxiety or stress. All right. Number two, you don't have to earn peace by working harder. Being burnt out is not a badge of honor. You can build a successful studio without sacrificing your sanity. Please, please do not build your business at the expense of yourself. You want to think about what are the things that are truly important to you and why are you doing the things that you're doing? Is there a gap between what is important to you and what you value and what you're actually spending your time on? And I know that often this is what the answer is that I get from people. Well, I have to do these things. I should do these things. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And when we do that, we dismiss what's in our heart and our soul that's telling us, but this over here is what's important. And maybe, just maybe, if we set aside the fear that we would hurt someone's feelings, for example, we could focus on building a business and processes that bring us peace. No one is going to give you a badge of honor. No one's going to say, oh, she burnt out, but she sacrificed it all and look at her studio. That's not going to happen. You're going to probably fall over tired from exhaustion before that will ever happen. So you have to remember, align your values and your business. It shouldn't be that building your business is costing you your life. And if you continue to get information in, maybe it's advice on how to run your business, maybe it's guilt or fear of failure. If you continue to work harder and harder and harder, fighting this voice inside of you that tells you you have to earn it, you have to work hard, you have to work hard. If you spend your time doing that, you're not actually getting yourself any closer to peace because it will never be enough. You're not meant to be on a hamster wheel. You're a person of value. You are a person that deserves peace, a peaceful home, to feel good about what you've created, to make choices that bring peace and honor your values in your home and your business. You don't have to keep working so hard to meet someone else's standard just to try to create peace for yourself. You can decide today how you're going to take steps to align your business to your values. Now, number 3. For number 3, I want to tell you that you are not lazy or unmotivated. You're overloaded. If you are being bombarded with conflicting advice, endless resources, trust me, there are so many companies, so many coaches offering so much information to dance studio owners, your head could spin. If you've got that and there's hundreds of shoulds, it's no wonder you feel stuck. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. You should be doing this. You should be working on this. You should be working on that. When you keep getting that message in, you quite literally start to believe that you're not doing a good job or that you are lazy and you're just going to fail at this because it makes you feel as though someone else has all the answers and information and you do not. And again, I say, think about unplugging on all the information and focusing on the things that resonate with you. What works for you in your business? Now, you have to remember that clarity comes when you stop trying to do everything and you focus instead on what actually matters. And when you do that, it looks like saying, okay, I'm going to prioritize my work. There's lots of things that I'd like to maybe get done or work on, but I'm going to prioritize what needs to happen now. What is going to ensure the sustainability of my business? What is going to ensure revenue is kept where it is or increasing? What can I do that focuses on retention or attraction of students? What can I do that will help enrich my staff? Now, things outside of that, they're fine and good. But if you have limited time and resources, back up to that ladder of prioritization. Because if you put the sustainability of your business on the back burner, if you put the retention of your students on the back burner, if you put talking to your staff on the back burner, then those are the very things that are going to cause things to crumble. And in your fear of failure, you're avoiding doing those things. You're in fact doing the very things that could create a failure. So when you're overwhelmed with information, be sure to prioritize all the things that are happening so that you know which things, hey, it's just data and I don't need that. Now, I want to make a final note because I think it's important to say here. It's okay to tell your spouse, you know what? I don't want to talk about politics today. I understand something happened on the news, and you can say, we're not talking about it. I'm home now. I'd like to relax and spend time, eat popcorn, whatever it is, right? It's okay to say that. It's also okay to say, you know what? Friend of mine, don't send me any more articles about weight loss and perimenopause. I need a break. It's too much right now. I have information overload going. Please don't forward those things to me. I need a break from it. It's okay. It's okay to decline signing up for another thing at your kid's school when you just need to come up for air. It is okay. It is okay to not attend that webinar that has made you feel like you are lacking something, that you don't have a skill. It is okay to decline. It is okay to delegate. And it is okay to just say, not today. I'm not dealing. I am focusing on myself and my business. Now, I know that message is hard for you. Some of you hear this and you're thinking, whoa, I can't say that to my spouse. Well, why not? Why not? I think that you deserve it. I think you deserve to say what it is you actually need. This is not about, oh, I don't want to offend someone. This is about what you need. When information is just bombarding your head in your day, you might need to surgically remove some things. So, my friends, I encourage you, hit unsubscribe, have that frank conversation, decide you're not talking politics today. Whatever it is, make the decision for your own peace. And I will talk to you next time. Bye bye.